Buenos dias a todos. Welcome back to Tom Plays EU4 for absolute beginners. We're back with Spain. Apparently cocoa has become more valuable, which is nice. So we're currently trying to build some new provinces in, I think, Peru and Mexico. Trying to build new colonial nations, which is proving to be rather difficult somehow. Not entirely sure why, but although we've got what I would consider to be 5 provinces, we don't appear to have actually triggered a colonial nation to form yet. Need to take this back. Looks like they're going to get into a fight with California, which is good. I think that's Portuguese colony. Yeah, so this might be it. I'm wondering if we're on the border between California and Mexico. So I'm doing this province next in the hope of doing the Mexico side, so that we don't end up left with a couple of odd provinces that we can't do much with. Looks like Portugal is actually going to take down the separatists, which is good. We're going to get this land back, which is also good. So yeah, apart from that, actually we've got another papal favour. We're now on +3 stability, which is the highest you can get, because last time we had an awful lot of uprisings. Okay, I'm going to do legitimacy this time because we're down to 82. Apparently Genoa is colonising now. Who's this? Cuba? Better leave it be. And we have formed New Spain, which is here. Brilliant. Please tell me this is part of it. It is. I'm going to say that. Right, so that's good. So basically these are all part of New Spain. I believe this is going to be a new nation akin to California. So really what we should be doing is going up here to form a new nation. Okay, so although we would like to help New Spain to grow as well. So first things we should do is start subsidising New Spain as heavily as we can reasonably afford, in the hope that they'll start doing some colonisation of their own. Still not caught in that province. Not to worry. Because this colony here, Durango, may be the last one we do for them. Honestly, a little torn. Let's move our ship up here. So would these be part of New Spain, or would these be part of whatever this nation ends up being? So we also want to make a nation up here, which we're probably going to do with the colonists currently doing Spanish Canada. Just wanted to check, have we subsidised? No, we haven't. Tierra Austral. So let's subsidise them as well, because the faster they grow, and they're actually doing okay in colonising themselves. Okay, brilliant. The faster they grow, the sooner we can move on to colonising Papua, which will remain Spanish, so that will be our main base of operations in the Western Pacific, which will require us to bring our boats back. However, right, so I was building some boats here. Are they still going to be built? Or have we just lost them? Hey, well, just in case we've just lost them, I will build a couple more. Slightly more modern ones as well. Okay, so it looks like... Oh no, Portugal haven't conquered them. I wanted to check if it was still allied to the Aztecs, but not, are they? Which is a shame. If Portugal weren't taking them, we could have done. Can't be helped. Right, so this is good. New Spain is already colonising. So we're doing Durango for them, they're doing Santa Barbara. So actually between us, especially if we keep the subsidies nice and high, we might be able to get them to 10 provinces quickly, which would give us an extra merchant. And also obviously mean we have more help in North America, which is what this is mostly about. So started this game planning on dominating South America. Admittedly, we've allowed France and especially Portugal to compete with us better than we should have done. But at the same time, I think we could hold our own. And on the plus side, because England hasn't done very well, they're starting to pull it together now. They're actually defeated Kildare, and they're mostly defeating Scotland. There we go, Spanish Peru, another colonial nation formed, which is definitely good news for us. We also could do with shipping these troops away now, because I don't believe any of this land is now ours. So any land we can take for Spanish Peru is going to be land we take from Cajamarca at the moment, at least until we're ready to attack Portugal. Additionally, we really need to have a link to these two so we can annex them. These are our vassals at the moment. So yeah, we have a conquest casus belli against our own colonial nation. I'm not particularly concerned about that, so I'm thinking if we can move our main army up here, it'll be better for attacking Cajamarca, which should probably be our next move. Unfortunately, with the ships we have in the Pacific, we're probably going to have to move them piecemeal, but at least we can get started. That's why we need more ships. Okay, what else? Okay, we still need to think about taking colonies, taking lands in Africa. Who has allies, who does not? They have lots of allies. Songhai has made a pretty big return, but at the same time they only have a relatively small ally. So I think they might be a good next person to attack. I assume we've still got a truce with Fulo. So I'm going to build a spy network here. We should be in the process of upgrading the fort here. Cool. It'll certainly help. The other thing is, the bigger these colonial nations become, and we're building them all the time, as well as them building themselves, the bigger armies they will be able to field to help us. Should be quite helpful. Looks like England has formed Great Britain. Fair enough, I suppose. Not much of Scotland left. The other thing I want to do is keep an eye on Nova Scotia, because if at any point they are no longer an ally of France, we should really attack them. Yeah, no problem. In fact, I might even move our Dutch army across in preparation for just that event. So I really want to just immediately lay into Nova Scotia if Scotland falls, because I think it's Scotland that actually has the alliance with France. So I don't know what actually happens if England completely defeats Scotland. Is Nova Scotia then without allies? Not totally sure. Or does Nova Scotia become Scotland? So we'll see, but there's always a chance that their alliance with France will break down, or more to the point that France will be no longer willing to help them for some reason. Maybe if they're already in a war. And Nova Scotia is quite a lot of colony at the moment. So it would be quite a good place to take colonies from. Makes Spanish Canada all the bigger and more powerful. I'm not disappointed with Florida. I really feel they could have spread more than they have. I've tried to provide them with subsidies and things. I was originally seeing them as the main competition with England. And I think England has outshone them considerably. Oh, actually this area is being considered Scotland as well, isn't it? So maybe Scotland will move here. Which is a shame. Well, not to worry. Let's just keep going for now. Okay. So what other things do we have as options? Let us do another improved relations because we want to be in a position to vassalize. Keep on with the conversions. Do we have anywhere that has a really high limit? Nothing. Actually, does this place have a high limit? It does, doesn't it? I'd forgotten. Excellent. We'll just keep the army there. That should do the trick. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, thinking about it, should we be... No diplomats. Just thinking we do need to take this nation at some point as well. Never mind. Just keep going. What's an advisor? Now we could do with more diplomatic, but then diplomatic reputation is quite important. So I'd kind of rather have that. Really going to have to speed up the advisors though. Okay. That's fine. Also fine. Fine you. So yeah, well I think we are going to end up fighting Portugal because unfortunately, the hope of having a personal union over them just never paid off. I'd still rather fight the Native American nations first, because they're generally less of a challenge. Oh, that's unfortunate. So our monarch has died, our heir isn't old enough to become monarch, so we've now got a regency council. Now, some of the DLCs will allow the royal consort to take over, so often the queen, when the monarch dies, and then it doesn't really affect you. But with no DLCs, the regency council means we can't declare war, which is going to be a serious pain, because that's exactly what we were just gearing up for here. Well, can't be helped. So what should our next move be? I'm actually thinking our next move should be trying to bring our navy and army up to the force limit. I'm sure they do. Lots of them, I'd imagine. So these two provinces... Oh, brilliant. Getting back the stability we just lost. These two provinces which still belong to Spain, I might build a bunch of war galleons on. Oh, what we got? Of a bank? Oh, well, we don't need loans, I don't think, so let's focus on control of inflation. Holy cow, let's pause. Okay. Right, we need the prestige for this, so let's go with that. Focus on control of inflation, which I have to say is pretty cool, because we don't have any loans. That should be good. One of our colonies is finished. I'm not used to getting this many beneficial events in one go. So we're going to embrace manufactories. There we go. Okay, so apparently this colony has finished. So I absolutely need a conquistador now. It's no longer up for debate because I want to send them up here. Okay, why can't I send them up here? Seriously, what's the big issue? In fact, oh no, I can't, can I? Right, okay, in that case, I'm going to send a colonist here anyway. And I'm just going to try to get the conquistador and army there as quickly as I can. Nope, I think we should be claiming some technology before you know it. Also going to start upgrading all of our castles. So you need to be a single army now. I'm really not sure what your problem is with walking here. Oh, fair enough. Well, you can just make your way through bit by bit, I suppose. Right, so we now have too many troops. Right, so I also want to start upgrading all of our forts. Even though we are not at full... We'll probably have to do this again when we get a military technology upgrade. For now. Right, so we can't actually launch any wars either. So I'm just going to focus on getting this army over to the new colony. Portugal has declared war again. See? Maybe there's a wasteland that we can't get through. I didn't actually think about that. Oh yeah, France has managed to cut us off. The natives will deal with them. I'd rather finish the colony. Right, okay. Okay, so we definitely want to send colonists to here. And that should finish off the job in terms of making this area purely for Spanish La Plata. The only question is, do we want to go south or do we want to try to take as much land up here as we can before the French grab it? That's a tricky one. Mostly I'm thinking I should give Castilian Brazil more subsidies. Right, okay then. Right, so this conquistador then, let's move them here. Can we not move them here either? Good grief. Okay, fine. You can officially come over here. You guys need to split up because you can't maintain yourselves over there, and I'm going to need to get another army up to that colony. Fortunately, I do already have an army twice the size of the usual colonial armies, so let's just take them, send them over, and bring our ships up, and we'll defend the colony with them instead. It's going to make even more ships. It's going to take forever. Fortunately, I think it's going to take forever before we've got a colonial nation here as well, so not to worry. Right, what are we doing? So, New Spain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we at least need to take these 3 if we possibly can. May not be able to, may have to wait until we are able to fight Portugal. Which, to be fair, may not be too far off. Just want to make sure we've got as many nations as possible, so we've got as much help as possible. Yeah, let's get another diplomat. I can always use more diplomats. We also need to make a road up to the Apache. For the same reason as these 2 nations down here, because we want to colonise them. Annex them as soon as we can. Oh good, separatists. That could help. Line infantry. Right, so I think we're up to date with institutions, we're in a good position for when the Enlightenment hit. So even though we've embraced it technically, it isn't quite in every province yet, which I think we noticed with Aragon when they'd embraced something. Still getting there. It's good to see West Africa's doing quite well. See the difficulty that there is in playing Russia with institutions. They still haven't finished getting global trade. So yeah, we await the final institution, the Enlightenment. Okay, so we now have a colony operating here, so we need to get an army up there before there's an uprising. Can occasionally actually vassalize these nations peaceably. The problem you get is getting to a plus 190. You often find that you're just a little bit short, but we may actually have to conquer them simply because, see, this is annoying. I think France have managed to cut us off from this entire area. That's possibly the only way for, oh no, they've already got a colonist arriving from France. Yeah, so basically this whole thing that we're doing down here, where we're cutting off this area so that no one else can colonise it, I think France has effectively successfully done with this whole area here. Which is pretty impressive. So while we can try and go west, I mean that would take a long time. So France has more or less given themselves a whole bunch of colonies that they can take. Honestly wondering if I should consider allying with Portugal again and trying to take on France. Especially once we catch up with them in terms of military tech. It's just going to drag us into battles again, aren't they? I wonder where our allies actually are if we did declare war on Portugal. I suppose that's the other option, we could literally just take their country. More Sardinian separatists. Excellent, can't get enough of those. I suppose we'd better... Good. Better bring the boats back. I shouldn't really need them for Nova Scotia anyway. At least not anytime soon. Okay, not too much more colonising we need to do. Well, Timbuktu is going to be expensive. Well, we could probably afford it, actually. Still. We need to ditch one of our military leaders as well. This one, I think. Real. Nope, not him. Yeah. So if I swap you over, and then we will kick him. I think he probably is the weakest that we have. Going to improve another castle. Should consider building one in Sardinia as well. If we should make a few more troops. I think we put the bulk of the troops in Nova Scotia. Maybe if we just do 4 and maybe another 4 guns. I'll stick 2 extra infantry on just in case. Probably turn out that they're infantry heavy. They are infantry heavy. Gives you more durability. But I think we can make 3 more guns. That should do. Okay, brilliant. How are we doing for the Navy? We are vastly below what we can support. So I'm just going to make... Oh, we're out of money. Never mind. Disputed succession. Prussia is a disputed succession again. So is France. Brunswick. That's interesting. Never seem to have enough diplomats somehow. Actually, were we building a spy network? I think we were. Down here with some guy. Oh well, don't really want to move them. What else do we have? No, Portugal. Yeah, forget that. They like us well enough already. See if we can get a royal marriage with Brunswick. Will mean losing even more diplomatic power. I'm just thinking they are on our border and their king is 40 years old. So it's hard not to feel like that would be an option. So as we'll see, might try and improve relations with them. Don't know if it'll make it more likely or not, but it's worth a try. And we have a papal favour. So taxes aren't as big a part of our income anymore, so I'm going to go for mercantilism. Just increase it a bit. 19% now. Prussia want a war with Lithuania, which is huge, and Sweden, which is huge. You know what? I will go along with it. If nothing else, you being in war means there's a decent chance that your king might get killed. Well, probably not. Unless you've made them a general, which would be insane. I'm not actually going to do anything, but you're pretty powerful yourself. Poland's pretty powerful, and they should join in, as should Naples. So, I think they'll be a big help, even if I don't lift a finger, personally. Not that I'd necessarily object to doing anything, it's just that I'd rather be ready for the Sardinian uprising, really. France is sowing discontent. Really starting to feel like we should be returning the favour. See if we can sow discontent. Oh yeah, country is at war, that's fine. And clearance. Hopefully picking up technology a little faster again. Also need to start looking towards getting better advisors. Okay. You get on the ships. Now apparently they're going to rise up here, so let's head here. They'll be right next door when they have an uprising. Kind of hoping our land doesn't get overrun. But there's only so much we can do to prevent it. Speaking of, who are Portugal's allies apart from us? Can't even check. They have an alliance with the Papal State, so in theory, if we did decide to attack them, we should have a fairly good chance of taking them down, I would think. What's their military tech? 22, we're on 21, so not ideal. Okay. Get a +3 military. Technology. Need to make sure I don't build to our new force limit, because that's just been increased temporarily. Right, so we now got +3 per month. Our heir, when he does come of age, will be better for military anyway. We are still gaining some diplomatic power, but not much. Cool. So hopefully we can catch up with Portugal sooner rather than later. It seems Scotland's still allied with France. Yes, they are. Right, okay then, let us prepare to attack Portugal. So what's that actually going to mean? Primarily it's going to mean an attack here on the mainland. However, we're also going to need to fight them in Africa to some extent. Russia are no longer our rivals, okay. Fine, I mean it would be useful to take all of this land. I just don't know whether Portugal will be able to bring an army to bear on it. Should assume that Portugal's navy will be powerful. Caribus. That's interesting. I'm sure that was all Portuguese Mexico. How does that get counted as part of Caribus? Anyway. So, how will we do this? Question is, do we want to take Cajamarca first? Because if we don't, then I'm thinking that this army should actually be on the south side again. Happily shipping them back and forth. There's one slow building spy network. Okay. So you stay there. I'm going to bring my boat across here. Pick up more of the army. I was thinking about the African armies. Right. Okay, let's... Not going to be much, but if we at least build a bit of an army down here. Tariffs on fish? Well, it depends entirely. Castile in Brazil? Nope. Better leave it be. Right, we could do another army in Spanish Guinea, ideally. It's going to be a little tricky, this whole thing, I think. Unmanly tactics. Oh, right. I'm going to say, who cares what others think, because losing army tradition is fatal as a rule. With Austria. Oh, I'd almost forgotten there was a war going on. Never mind, if we stay till the end, hopefully Prussia will think better of us and will be more inclined to join in with us. Maybe we will even be able to get them to help us attack Portugal. You never know. Right, so we're going to want the majority of the army on that side. Don't know though, it's a bit of a problem. Have to wonder whether I'd be better off having some of the army down here. Make sure we can completely crush their... I mean, surely their biggest army has to be in Portugal itself. Okay. Here you go on the castle. I wonder. Maybe we should build to the force limit. Oh, there we go. I suppose the only other thing is that we may be able to get them to give us some of their colony land, even if they're winning here, because we will have taken their mainland. Even so though, it's hard not to feel like we should have a bigger army here. Maybe if I built to the new force limit, just to be on the safe side. So, I don't currently have anything in Spanish Guinea though, which is what's bothering me. be fair, Portugal doesn't really have much up here either, and just they might land. Actually, we don't have anything, do they? Oh, very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Okay. Okay, so assume we've built to the force limit down there. Sorry, assume we've built all the troops we're going to build there. We have room for 15 more. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll take a while, but it's going to take a while for our heir to come of age as well, so not a huge problem. It's good to see this is growing. That's still New Spain. That one's close to being done as well. Maybe they'll start on this one. Still got the same massive subsidies you have, which is great. Gonna try that with Castilian Brazil as well. Okay, cool. So we should still, I think, have a bunch of claims on Portugal itself. So, I suppose what we should do is move in pairs into Portugal. So we'll have two armies together so they can support each other. At the same time, we'll move to take all of this land with this army, which won't have a general. And we'll see whether we can fight Caribus with the miniature army we've got here, which is debatable. This army will probably get completely stomped, unfortunately. I'm not thinking about it, we could probably do with exploring here a bit. Oh. Assimilating natives, always a good thing. So that's Durango, which is now finished. Okay, brilliant. So in that case, how about if I build a colony here, so it's close to my army, and it'll be for this new nation. So I'm hoping, assuming the war isn't a complete disaster, that we will take some of Portugal's colonies as part of the peace deal. Let's see. There. Drop you in Huelva. Don't know how good my navy is going to be against Portugal's. There's going to be quite a lot of very old ships in it, I think. And we'll just have to do the best we can. Okay. Spend generously, we badly need the prestige. Okay, I'm going to move you back down because we need to take down Portugal as quickly as we can. So I'm going to start down here in Spanish La Plata and we'll take them all the way up. These two boats down here as well, so they can help with moving things across. And I'm just hoping Portugal doesn't make another ally in the meantime. made peace with Sweden, and that is good. They are winning big time. Who's this? Sicilian separatist this time. I don't suppose I can pull that changing culture thing again, can I? Alright, it's not a Catholic province. You know, I did not know that. Must be the ones we're currently missionarying. Oh well, never mind. Really should take that pirate out at some point as well. Tiber is self-sufficient. Good, good. Now then. Have a spare conquistador now. If they've finished exploring, can head back there. You can have the conquistador, and you can head into that spot. You can head into that spot as well. I'll send a colonist here first. Okay, we're no longer at war, which is good. Have a chance to get rid of some war exhaustion. Have we upgraded that fort yet? Yeah, I think that's in the process. That's fine. No, hang on. Picked the wrong thing. Wonderful. Yeah. Well, we can't do it, and actually we just don't have enough money. That's why we can't do it. Not to worry. Okay, ship's on the way up. That's fine. Who's this? Oh right, natives. Fair enough. Up to... Nope, we are still slightly behind on military technology. So, still not going to finish defensive ideas, which is a shame. Might put us at a disadvantage. I can't do anything about it though. And ideally we should probably go for another military idea next time. One that's more universally useful at this point. Because we can't actually start a war anyway until our heir comes of age. But he's getting there. Carlos. Yeah, see, discipline might have been worth having, but then we will be over our land force limit. So, maybe we're better off as we are. California, that's okay. That's actually quite good, because we may be attacking them soon. How close are we to getting this uprising? Not very close at all. I mean, reasonably close, but it's not about to happen. Right, I should probably leave it there for now. So we're sort of gearing up to potentially attack Portugal. Hopefully recovering a bit of manpower as well. And yeah, we'll probably do that once the heir comes of age. Unless they get a really good ally in the meantime. Which they might, but at the moment it just seems to be the papal state. And much as I don't want to fight the papal state, I think we can handle them. We'll see anyway, but let's leave it there for now and see if we can actually do the attack next time. I will see you then.